अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या नबी अल्लाह व अला आलिका व सहाबिका या नूर अल्लाह नवैतु सुन्नतल इतिकाफ। There is lot of virtues reciting durood and salam upon Nabi Kareem Rahim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, on the day of Qiyamah, on the day of judgment, the reciter of Durood Pak and Durood and the Salam will come out very quickly from the dangerous valleys. The reciter of Durood Pak will come out very quickly from the dangerous valleys and the difficult ways. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam salatan wa salaman alayka ya sayyidi ya Rasulallah wa ala alika wa sahabika ya Habiballah. Nabi Kareem Rahim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Afdalul amali an-niyatu sadiqa. Your pure intention which do from your bottom of your heart is better than your action, and we should make this our habit to make maximum intention when we are going to do any good action. By doing the good intention, inshallah, our reward of the good action will increase also. And the good intention, inshallah, will make us enter into the heavens, inshallah. Before we hear the bayan, let's make some good intentions also. That I will hear the bayan, I will hear the lecture just for my own rectification. First of all, whatever we will learn here, we will inshallah try to act upon it, and then we will try to convey it to other Islamic brothers, inshallah. I will try to listen the entire bayan, inshallah, which is very short bayan. And Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hazrat Malik bin Dinar rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi, he is counted in the great awliya of Allah Azza wa Jal. And for the rectification of his inner self, just to take an account of an inner self, अपने नफ्स का जो मुहासबा है उसके लिए आप बहुत मेहनत किया करते थे. He used to work very hard to take an account of his inner self. And Sheikh Tariqat Amir Ahle Sunnat Maulana Muhammad Ilyas Attar Qadri Madda Zillal Ali, in his famous book in Faizan-e Ramadan, he writes this story that Hazrat Malik bin Dinar rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi, for 40 years his inner self had this desire to eat the dates, this khujur, right? For 40 years his nafs had the desire to eat the khujur, but for 40 years he never has eaten the khujur. Just for the self rectification, अपने नफ्स का मुहासबा करने के लिए उन्होंने 40 साल खजूर नहीं खाई. And after 40 years when he completed fighting against his inner self, now his nafs said, now you can eat, now you have completed at least 40 years, let's at least eat one date. He said, okay, if you want to eat, he is telling his own nafs, inner self, if you want to eat the date, then you have to keep 7 consecutive nafli fast, not the obligatory fast in the Ramadan, Nafli fast because that was not the month of the Ramadan. Now he's telling his inner self. Now he kept 7 fast just to eat one khujur, one date. And when he bought those khujurs from the marketplace, and when he came to the town and he was holding those khujurs now, he completed 7 days of fasting, nafli fasting, and he was about to eat. And one child came screaming, there is a non-Muslim in our community. There is a non-Muslim in our community. And the child's father came running with a big stick to hit a person who is in the Muslim vicinity and is not keeping the fast and is not a month of the Ramadan. This was the situation. So immediately he hid his dates in his pocket. And when his father came, he knew Hazrat Malik bin Dinar, Rahmatullah Ta'ala, who was the great wali of the time, great saint and the wali of Allah of the time. He said, Ya Hazrat, I know you. You are, how you are here in our vicinity, in our area. He kept quiet and then he told his nafs that I will never eat the date in my life. I never eat a date, a khujur in my life. That the people were living in that community. Actually, we need to learn a lesson from this story. They used to keep lot of nafli fasts beside the month of Ramadan to do a tazkiyah nafs, to take an account of inner self. And they never used to fulfill the desires of the inner self. Your inner self actually is guided by the shaitan. And shaitan tell us when the human child is born, and shaitan child also gets a child, and the same child is an appointed on that human, and that name of that shaitan is Hamzat, which is born with us. And that shaitan inner self is appointed on us to misguide us all the time. And it tells us to do certain things wrong. He has lot of desires. When the delicious food comes, so we wish that we eat all, right? The best of the piece of the meat we wanted to eat. This is the desires comes from the inner self actually. And we don't want to let someone else eat that food. And likewise, we have lot of other inner self desires that we want to look very beautiful, handsome, we want to wear the branded things, and we want to show off. These are the desires of your inner self, because that inner self of ours wants to show off, but we need to rectify those certain spiritual diseases which is caused by the inner self. So inner self, our inner self, the nafs tells us to do certain things on the certain times. When we want to read the salah, we want to read the salah at our own time. We don't want to read the salah with jamaat, because now the jamaat is on, but we are still resting, or we are watching on the Google, or we watching the YouTube, or we chatting with one of our friend on that, and the time is wasted. Now all of a sudden we realize, oh, jamaat is gone, now let me read. And we are very convenient with that we do all the actions, but according to our own convenient time, not how is supposed to be, which is obligatory rules and the regulation of Sharia has been told. So we do every action, in fact, we will say, according to our own convenience. My dear Islam brothers, in the month of Ramadan, which Allah Azza wa Jal has made an obligation, 30 days fasting for each and every single adult Muslim, male or female, which has a conscience. The person who is a conscious and is adult, so 30 days fasting is an obligation for every Muslim. But today we have lot of excuses that my health is not supporting me, I am very weak, I cannot keep the fast. For the small disease, without the consultation of the doctor even, we leave the fast. We don't even keep the fast and we leave the fast. And look at the situation of our Muslim living in the olden times. They used to be very steadfast on the normal optional fasting also. वो नफली रोजे भी इस कदर रखा करते थे प्यारे इस्लाम भाइयों कि आज हमारे से फर्ज रोजे भी नहीं रखे जाते. वी कैन नॉट इवन कीप द ऑब्लिगेटरी फास्टिंग इन द मंथ ऑफ रमजान. And to leave one fast in the month of Ramadan without any valid Shari reason. Shari reason means without any Islamic reason is haram, and that haram action will lead us towards the hellfire. Tubu ilallah, astaghfirullah. My dear Islam, this is the major sin, to leave a fast in the month of Ramadan. And now we are so shameless that some of the Muslim in our vicinity, even we find them, they don't keep the fast and yet they eat in front of everyone. And this is the situation. Some of them will be eating some, the mouth freshness they in the mouth. Some of them will be drinking the waters and the cold drinks in the marketplaces, and they are so-called Muslims. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us tawfiq and hidayat to keep the fast in the month of Ramadan. Ameen. My dear brothers, in the light of the ahadith mubarakah, the saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's a lot of benefits has been said. Let's hear some of them about keeping the fast in the month of Ramadan. The person who keeps the fast is causes the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. The first benefit is that the person who keeps the fast is causes the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. It makes Allah Azza wa Jal very happy. Subhanallah. In Hadith Pak it comes, in Jannat, in heavens, there is a door. As a special door is being made for that person who keeps the fast in the month of Ramadan. Only the fasting person will enter from that door which has been made in the heaven, and the fasting person will enter from that door into the heavens. Subhanallah. In the month of Ramadan, keeping the fast is the forgiveness of the previous sins. Is the forgiveness of the previous sins. And the fasting is also like a shield from the hellfire. And the fast will come on the day of Qiyamah in the form of the shield, and he will make the intercession of the person who used to keep the fast in the holy month of the Ramadan. Subhanallah. In month of Ramadan, the person who does not complain, because sometimes we are not habitual, we are not used to keeping the fast, and when all of a sudden we start the fasting, all of a sudden, because this is obligation, we cannot leave it. This is obligatory. This is the fard. So we cannot leave it. That becomes very hard because we have no practice in the month of Ramadan. But the person, he just for the pleasure of Allah, he keeps the fast and he does not complain. He does not complain that I am very hungry, I am very thirsty, I am dying, and how I'm gonna keep my fast. Not complains a single word. He just remains patient. वो सब्र करता है अल्लाह ताला की रजा के लिए. तो अल्लाह ताला, then Allah Azza wa Jal makes a beautiful house for that person in the heaven, which made out of the precious stone, which is zircon. Subhanallah. याकूत का बना हुआ एक घर अल्लाह ताला उसके लिए जन्नत में बनाएगा, जो रोजा जो है वो बिल्कुल सब्र और शुक्र के साथ रख लेता है और कंप्लेन नहीं करता। सुभान अल्लाह। रोजेदार का सो जाना, द पर्सन, द फास्टिंग पर्सन, इफ ही स्लीप्स, that is also counted as a worship, ibadat of Allah Azza wa Jal. Subhanallah. During the month of Ramadan, the sleeping is also the ibadat and the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal. And if he remains silent, because if he remains the silent, that remaining silent is also counted as making the tasbih of Allah Azza wa Jal. Subhanallah. And the person who keeps the fast, he gets cure from all the diseases. If he wants to get cure physically, if someone is sick, so this is instructed by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we should keep the fast. Inshallah, by keeping the fast, inshallah we will get cure from the diseases, inshallah. If Rozadar says La ilaha illallah, or he says Subhanallah, or he says Allahu Akbar, or Alhamdulillah, he makes the tasbih of Allah, then the 70,000 angels of Allah Azza wa Jal, till the sun goes down, sunset, they write the good deeds. How many angels? 70,000 angels write the good deeds till the sunset. Subhanallah, for the person who is keeping the fast and he is making the tasbih of Allah. So, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. My dear Islam brothers, we should not have any excuses, lame excuses to leave the fasting month and the fast in the fasting month of Allah Azza wa Jal. Hazrat Malik bin Dinar, look at his also how he used to take an account of his inner self, that for 40 years he has not even eaten a date, and his inner self had that desire to eat a date. He was killing his inner self, and he said, no, I will not eat the date because you are the one who is destroying my spiritual life and you are taking me away from the Allah Azza wa Jal, so I will not listen to you for 40 years. And what is our condition? That everything what we like, we follow our inner self. My dear Islam brothers, rectification of the inner self is also a very good action, and to act upon on the Islamic aqaid, the fundamental ruling of Islam. Fundamental ruling of Islam is, after embracing the Islam, the first fard is Salah. Namaz is the first after bringing the Iman, and after that is fasting. Namaz, Roza means fasting. Then is Hajj. The third one is Hajj. And the fourth one is Zakat. To pay your donation. And we don't know how much money we should have to pay the Zakat even. We don't know the syllabus, how to pay the Zakat. The first one is Namaz. And the second one is Roza and the fasting. And some of the people, unfortunately, what they do, they keep the fast, but they don't read the Namaz. They remain hungry whole day, and they use their tongue to utter the obscene words from their tongue. They don't care about their eyes. They don't save their eyes from the sins. They don't save their ears from the sins. They don't save hands from their sins. They still steal. They still look bad. They still hear the evil things. And they just remain hungry whole day. And they don't do any good action. My dear Islam brother, Salah is the first of the fard ain which we have to, which has no exemptions. Even a person is a sick, he still has to read a Salah as long he has a conscious. अगर उसकी अकल सलामत है, होशो हवास में है, तो प्यारे इस्लाम भाइयों, नमाज पढ़नी ही पड़ेगी, माफ नहीं है किसी को. और दूसरा जो फर्ज है वो क्या है? रोजा. The fasting, my dear Islam brother, fasting is also not maaf for anyone unless someone gets very sick. Then he has this exemption, then he can leave the fast. Or the person who is traveling, and the traveling in olden days was very hard. पुराने वक्तों में जो सफ़र करना था वो बहुत मुश्किल था. They used to travel on the horses and the camels, and it used to become very hard to sit on the camel, on the horse, and the travel from A point to the B point between two different destinations. So this is also an exemption, but today's traveling is not so bad. If we want to go to Pretoria, Joburg, or we 2 hours drive, 3 hours drive, we can sit in the car, and the fasting is not that, but it still have, a traveler still have an exemption that he has a choice. He can still leave the fast. The traveler has a choice, but he still has a choice to leave the fast while he is traveling, but he still have to complete the number when the fasting month is over. And if the sick person also has a, always if doctor says you cannot keep the fast, you are very sick, someone gets really very sick, not with the small fever or small flu, we leave the fast immediately. If someone gets very sick and doctor is advised that now you cannot keep the fast, अब डॉक्टर की नसीहत के मुताबिक वो ये कहता है कि आप रोज़ा नहीं रख सकते, तो फिर रोज़ा छोड़ दें. लेकिन प्यारे इस्लाम भाई, जो एक दफ़ा जो रमज़ान का रोज़ा छूट गया उसका दोबारा सवाब नहीं मिलेगा. उसके नंबर तो हम कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं, उसका कफ़ारा तो हम वी कैन पे द कफ़ारा आल्सो, but the reward to keep the fast, one fast is uncountable. We उसको काउंट नहीं किया जा सकता जो एक रिवॉर्ड है. my dear Islam brothers, Allah Azza wa Jal had made this obligation. Why he has made this obligation? Allah does not want to see us hungry. Allah wants to see us that for my pleasure. We have everything, all the bounties and the name of Allah Azza wa Jal has been bestowed upon us. Just for the pleasure of Allah, as we heard the Juma Bayan, that Allah Hazrat was just 4 years. Allah Hazrat was just 4 years small baby, and his grandfather put lot of food, fruits, drinks in the room, and he said, "Oh my young son, go in the room, no one is watching you, go and eat." He said, and he never taken a sip of water even, he never even tasted a juice or something, not even has eaten a fruit. He said, "Oh my grandfather, no matter the worldly people are not watching me, you are not watching me, my father is not watching me, but Allah is watching me. So I am keeping." The 4 years child is replying that, look at the spiritual level of that child, which is, who was that? Our leader, Imam Ahmad Rada Khan Rahmatur Rahman. That was his status, my dear Islam brothers. So Allah Azza wa Jal has made this obligation, the fasting 30 days, not he just wants to just make us, the people think that why we should remain hungry. We got a lot of, only the poor people should keep the fast because they don't have the food. It's not such a thing. We have the bounties of Allah, we have the name of Allah, we have the sustenance, we have the food, fruit, drinks, and all the best of the meals, just for the certain duration before the sunrise, before the Fajr, Sahri time, till the sunset. For the pleasure of Allah, we leave eating, drinking. And eating and drinking is not only the fasting. Our eyes should keep the fast, our tongue should keep the fast, our ears should keep the fast, and our every organ of the body, जिस्म का हर हिस्सा प्यारे इस्लाम भाइयों वो रोज़ा रखे. मज़ा तो तब है कि अल्लाह ताला की रज़ा के लिए खाना पीना छोड़ा, लेकिन खाना पीना छोड़ने के साथ साथ हमने अपनी आँखों को भी गुनाहों से बचा लिया, अपनी ज़ुबान को भी गुनाहों से बचा लिया, अपने हाथों को भी बचा लिया, अपने पाँव को भी बचा लिया. यानी हमारे पूरे जिस्म ने ही तज़किया नफ्स किया. आज का जो टॉपिक है वो यही है कि रोज़ा हमें क्या सिखाता है? तज़किया नफ्स. तज़किया नफ्स मीन्स द अकाउंटेबिलिटी ऑफ इनर सेल्फ. तज़किया नफ्स जो है, हाउ टू टेक एन अकाउंट ऑफ इनर सेल्फ. जो इनर सेल्फ है हमारा, नफ्स हमें घुसाता रहता है, और वी आर सो हैबिचुअल with the bad actions and the major sin we commit over and over 11 months. हमें आदत पड़ी हुई है. We are so habitual of doing the wrong things. And this, when the month of Ramadan comes, we still carry on with the same habits, my dear brothers. So this should be a turning point. The month of Ramadan should be a turning point. ये हमारी जिंदगी को चेंज करने वाला पॉइंट होना चाहिए. The Ramadan should be a turning point in our life. कि आज से हम ये सच्ची नियत करते हैं, जैसे ही रोजे शुरू हो तो अल्लाह ताला की रजा के लिए कि आज से जो जो बुरे काम मेरी जिंदगी में थे या मेरे जात के अंदर थे, मैं आज उनसे सच्ची पक्की तौबा करता हूँ. ठीक है, ये जो है तस्किया नफ्स, इससे ये है कि अल्लाह ताला की रजा हासिल होगी. प्यारे इस्लाम भाइयों, रोजे के मुतल्लिक कहा गया है कि अल्लाह अज़्ज़ा वजल ने इरशाद फरमाया कि रोजा खास मेरे लिए. रोजा किसके लिए? अल्लाह ताला के लिए. एक ऐसी बात नहीं, दिस इज सच अ हिडन इबादत. इफ समवन ड्रिंक्स एंड ईट्स हिडनली, नो वन नोज, बट दिस इज द एग्रीमेंट बिटवीन अवर सेल्फ एंड अवर लॉर्ड अल्लाह अज़्ज़ा वजल. ये हमारा और अल्लाह ताला के दरमियान कैसा सच अ ब्यूटीफुल एग्रीमेंट कि ए मौला तेरी रज़ा के लिए मैं कुछ खाऊं पीऊंगा नहीं. ठीक है, खाऊं पीऊंगा नहीं, बल्कि कोई भी गुनाह नहीं करूंगा, कोई भी बुरी बात नहीं करूंगा, अपने नफ्स को जो है सुधारने की कोशिश करूंगा. तो दिस इज द टाइम, माय डियर इस्लाम ब्रदर, इन द मंथ ऑफ रमजान कम्स दैट वी हैव टू rectify ourselves, we have to ponder upon our actions and we have to take an account of our inner self. अपने नफ्स का मुहासबा करना है. ठीक है, और उसको भी सिखाना है, उसको भी आदत डालनी है कि जो भी चीज़ नफ्स डिमांड करता है ना, वो हम उसको दे देते हैं. नफ्स ये कहता है कि मुझे खाना खिलाओ अच्छा, तो हम उसको खिलाते हैं. नफ्स ये कहता है कि अच्छे कपड़े पहनो, अच्छे ये करो वो करो, यानी जो भी नफ्स की जो डिज़ायर होती हैं वो हम पूरी करने की कोशिश करते हैं. लेकिन कभी ये भी होना चाहिए कि अल्लाह ताला की रज़ा के लिए नफ्स की पैरवी को छोड़ दें, नफ्स के खिलाफ एक्शन करें. एक बुजुर्ग रहमतुल्लाह ताला अलैह, अभी जैसे हज़रत मालिक बिन दिनार का वाक़या सुना कि आपने नफ्स कशी के लिए 40 साल अल्लाह ताला की रजा के लिए उनका नफ्स कहता रहा कि खजूर खा लो, खजूर खा लो. और हज़रत मालिक बिन दिनार ने 40 साल तक खजूर नहीं खाई. नफ्स कशी करते रहे कि उनका नफ्स उनको उकसाता रहा कि एक खजूर खा लो. और उनके नफ्स को, इस नफ्स यूज टू लाइक द डेट्स एंड आवर पर्सनैलिटी आल्सो, वी लाइक सर्टेन फूड्स टू मच. किसी को खीर पसंद है, किसी को बिरयानी पसंद है, किसी को कलिया पसंद है, किसी को, जब वो खाना सामने आता है तो फिर हमारा हाथ नहीं रुकता. ठीक है, तो अल्लाह ताला की रज़ा के लिए प्यारे इस्लाम भाइयों एक वाक़या बयान करके ख़त्म करता हूँ. हज़रत सैयदना उम्मुल खातून जन्नत फातिमा ज़ोहरा रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हा, Fatima Zohra radiyallahu ta'ala anha, once she came, the daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from the past 3 days, myself, my husband Hazrat Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, and my children Hazrat Hassan and Hussain radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, has not eaten the full stomach food from past how many days? Past 3 days. And who was saying? The daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was saying that myself, my husband and my children Hassan and Hussain radhiyallahu anhu has not eaten the full stomach food from past 3 days. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have seen the blood outside of your house, outside the door. Looks like you have slaughtered an animal, तो प्लीज़ गिव अस सम मीट. कि ऐसा लगता है कि आपने कोई जानवर ज़िबा किया है और उसका खून आपके घर के बाहर पड़ा हुआ है, तो उसका जो गोश्त है कुछ हमें भी अता कर दीजिए. तो नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, what he replied, we need to hear from the bottom of our heart. What he has replied to his daughter, we must listen from the ears of the heart. दिल से सुनने के काबिल है ये बात प्यारे साहब भैया. नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम has said, oh my daughter, last night the remembrance of my ummah came in my heart. उम्मत की याद जो है ना, उम्मत की याद मेरे दिल में इस कदर आ गई I start walking barefoot towards the cave of Hira. मैं गारे हीरा की तरफ पैदल चल पड़ा. And this is not the blood of any animal. I was walking the barefoot. मैं नंगे पाँव चल के गारे हीरा की तरफ गया और मेरे पाँव जो हैं वो पत्थरों की वजह से जख्मी हो गए और ये मेरे पाँव से निकला हुआ खून है. This blood is not a blood of animal. I was walking barefoot on the very sharp stones and I went to the cave of Hira just because I remember my ummah and I was making the dua for my ummah, my nation, that oh Allah azal Rabbi habli ummati Rabbi gafirli ummati. मेरी उम्मत की याद ने इस कदर मुझे सताया कि मैंने उनके लिए दुआ की. ये किसी जानवर का खून नहीं. This blood came out from the feet of your Baba Jan. So my dear Islam brothers, and another story we heard many times at the time of Ghazwa Khandak. Ghazwa Khandak, the Sahaba Ikram made a trench, very big, deep, like a canal, that enemies cannot enter into that place. And when they were digging the big trench, Khandak, one of the Sahabi Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he picked up his kurta and he showed Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he was so hungry that he tied one big stone on his stomach. One big stone on his stomach. And he was just saying, Ya Rasulullah, that's so hungry that I have tied the stone because I cannot bear the hunger now. And look at the action of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. कुर्बान जाइए अपने प्यारे आका सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम पर. आपने अपने जिस्म मुबारक से कुर्ता उठाया और उन्हीं सहाबी रसूल को दिखाया कि नबी करीम के शिकमे मुबारक पर आपने 2 पत्थर बांध रखे थे. तो प्यारे इस्लामी भाइयों, in the month of Ramadan is not only to remain hungry. This is the time to make your nafs, your inner self, take an account of inner self. Change the habits of extra eating, drinking, and buying additional things. Just buy according to your needs. Fulfill your needs. Do not waste the food. Do not waste the clothing. Do not waste any additional thing, even the shoes, even whatever extra things have. Just keep to the limit. We know we have the halal money, we have work for the money is halal, but do not spend and do not fulfill the desires of the inner self. When we go in the marketplace, we 10 clothings are hanging in the cupboard. We will not help the poor person, but we will still go on the day of the Eid and buy another kurta. And it will remain hanging. The 10s are there, now is the number 11 one we are buying. Is still allowed, but what I'm saying, that is maybe the desires of the inner self. We need to do the tazkiyah nafs. We need to train our nafs, and we do not need to listen to our nafs inner self all the time. And likewise, we have lot of shoes, lot of pairs of shoes lying at home, lot of topis will be lying at home, lot of extra things which we seldomly use or maybe occasionally use. Why we have to keep those things? And this was the habits of the awliya kiram. They used to have the normal dress and they used to have a very special dress also. Very special dress when they used to wear it. वो अपना जो खास लिबास था, खूबसूरत लिबास, वो किस वक्त पहना करते थे? The special dress they used to wear only that time when they used to wake up for the tahajjud salah. खूबसूरत लिबास when they used to wake up for the tahajjud salah midnight. They used to dress up very beautifully, and the most expensive dress they used to wear. And the people used to ask, now why you are wearing such expensive dress? He said, Allah Azza wa Jal has given me everything, and for the showing of the people I must wear the good, and what about the Allah Azza wa Jal? So it's the time now they used to wear the best of the clothing in the midnight to to make the worship, make the ibadat of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is how they used to take an account of inner self, my dear Islam brothers. And what is our condition now? So in the month of Ramadan, my dear Islam brothers, we need to build up these habits, inshallah Azza wa Jal. That whatever extra things we have, we must give it out to the poor and remain limited. By do not have israf, extra thing. Israf mean ज़ाया करना चीज़ों का, ठीक है? किसी भी चीज़ को ज़ाया. Do not have the waste of the food. Do not have the waste of the clothing, shoes, all the possessions what we have. Do not have any extra things. Try to be limited according to your needs. जो एक्स्ट्रा चीज़ें होंगी प्यारे इस्लाम भाई, even is we earn with the halal, there is a accountability. हराम का तो अजाब ही है. There is a azab for every haram, but there is a accountability for every halal thing what we possess. जो हमारी possession में जितनी भी हलाल चीजें हैं, there is a accountability for it. We have to give an answer to Allah Azza wa Jal for the halal things, my dear brothers. So may Allah Azza wa Jal give us tawfiq and hidayat to rectify our actions and to the tazkiyah nafs, to take an account of our inner self. Ameen bijahil Nabil Ameen sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My dear Islam brothers, alhamdulillah. My dear Islam brothers, inshallah Azza wa Jal, we going to recite the Durood Pak, which we will recite the Durood Pak together, inshallah Azza wa Jal. Every good action in the month of Ramadan is increased by 70 times. And the nafil salah is equivalent in the thawab equivalent to the faraids, and the faraids are increased 70 times. So every good action what we are doing is increased by 70 times in the month of Ramadan minimum. So let's recite the Durood Pak of inshallah for Ijtama. Hazrat Anas radhiyallahu ta'ala states that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whosoever recites the Durood Pak, if he was sitting down before he stands up, and if he was standing up before he sits down, his all the sins will be forgiven. Let's recite together. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sallim. Whosoever recites this Durood Pak, Allah Azza wa Jal opens the 70 doors of mercy for that person. Let's recite together. Sallallahu ala Muhammad. Hazrat Ahmad Sabi rahmatullah ta'ala states that whosoever recites this Durood Pak, he is like that person who gets the reward of 600,000 times Durood Pak. Subhanallah. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin adada ma fi ilmillahi salatan daimatan bidawami mulkillah. One day, one person came and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam made him sit between himself and Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Then Sahaba Ikram asked astonishingly that, Ya Rasulullah sallam, who is this person with that such a great high status? Then Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when he recites the Durood Pak, he recites in this way. Let's recite this Durood Pak. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin kama tuhibbu wa tardola. Nabi Kareem Rahim sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, the person who recites this Durood Pak, my shafaat, my intercession becomes wajib, obligatory for that person. Let's recite together. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa anzilhu al-maq'ada al-muqarraba indaka Yawm al-Qiyamah. Hazrat Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu states that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, whosoever recites this Durood Pak, The 70 angels of Allah Azza wa Jal continuously writes the good deeds for 1000 days. Let's recite together. Jazallahu anna Muhammadam ma huwa ahlu. Whosoever recites this dua, he is like that person who has gotten the Shab-e Qadr. Subhanallah. La ilaha illallah. Al-Halimul Kareemu. Subhanallahi. Rabbis samawati. As-sab'i. Wa Rabbil Arshil Azim. La ilaha illallah. Al-Halimul Kareemu. Subhanallahi. Rabbis samawati. As-sab'i. Wa Rabbil Arshil Azim. La ilaha illallah. Al-Halimul Kareemu. Subhanallahi. Rabbis samawati. As-sab'i. Wa Rabbil Arshil Azim. Sallu ala al-Habib. Sallallahu ta'ala.
صلوا الحبيب صلى الله عليه وسلم. Let us make Hizbullah Azza wa Jalla with this imagination that we are sitting in front of Ka'bah al-Sharif, or we are sitting in front of the Qadi Khazra, and we are making Hizbullah Azza wa Jalla. Make the great one children, inshallah, who we have also presented, inshallah. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نور الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نور الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله. وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله. حسبي ربي جل الله، ما في قلبي غير الله. نور محمد صلى الله. لا إله إلا 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 الله. محمد رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. إلا الله 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 إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. الله 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 لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. الله 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 لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نور الله.
तेरा या सदका करबले की भलाई का सदका करबले की भलाई का सदका करबले की भलाई का सदका मुझ निकम्मे को करबला या रब मुझ निकम्मे को करबला या रब और खाक कर अपने आस्ताने की 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 यूं हमें खाक में मिला या रब यूं हमें खाक में मिला या रब सबकत रहमती अला मदबी तूने जब से सुना दिया या रब सबकत रहमती अला मदबी तूने जब से सुना दिया या रब आसरा हमें गुनाहगारों का आसरा हमें गुनाहगारों का और मजबूत हो गया या रब और मजबूत हो गया या रब तू हसन को उठा हसन करके 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 नाम रहमान है तेरा या रब नाम रहमान है तेरा या रब और लाज रख ले गुनाहगारों की 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 नाम रहमान है तेरा या रब नाम रहमान है तेरा या रब दर्द दिल कर मुझे अता या रब दे मेरे दर्द की दवा या रब
My dear brothers, it's time for dua. Just before breaking the fast, it comes in the narration. The dua of the fasting person will be never rejected. The fasting custom before breaking the fast will be never rejected. This is the beautiful moments to ask in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal. The first Ashra Rahmat, the first 10 days where Allah Azza wa Jal bestows His special mercies. In the month of Ramadan, my dear brothers, let's make sincere dua from the bottom of our heart. May this Ramadan will be a turning point in our life, that whatever sins we have committed in our previous life, with the barakat of this holy month of this Ramadan, may Allah forgive all of them. Ameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Jazallahu anna sayyidana wa maulana Muhammadan sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ma huwa ahluhu. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Rabbana, Ya Rabbana, Ya Rabbana, Ya Rabbana, Ya Rabbana, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Sattar, Ya Ghaffar. Oh Allah Azza wa Jal, you know our condition, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal. We have not a single good deed in our Na'amai Amal, in our good deed, which we can represent in your court, and through that we can ask forgiveness. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, our entire life we have committed the sins. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, if you are not going to forgive us, whose door we are going to knock at? अगर तुम न सुनोगे तो मेरी कौन सुनेगा? करम तुम न करोगे तो करम कौन करेगा?
कहीं का गुनाह अब नहीं छोड़ा, अब नहीं छोड़ा, अज़ाब नार से तार को बचा या रब, अज़ाब नार से तार को बचा या।
We don't know what the scene has been made about us. On the 15th of Shaban, if we look at in our family, in our friends, in our relations, many were with us last year and now they are in the graves, they have passed on. We don't know what the scene has been made for us. Maybe this will be our last Ramadan in our life. हो सकता है कि ये भी हमारी जिंदगी का आखिरी रमजान हो। ऐ मौला, हमने सुन रखा है कि तेरी रहमत तेरे गज़ब पर हावी है। ऐ मौला, तेरी रहमत तेरे गज़ब पर हावी है। हम जानते हैं कि हमारे नामाए आमाल में कोई भी एक ऐसी नेकी नहीं है कि जिसका वास्ता देकर तुझसे दुआ मांगे। ऐ मौला, बगैर किसी वजह के हमें बख्श दे। ओ अल्लाह, forgive us for any without any reason, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal. Oh Allah, forgive us for any, without any valid reason, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal.
बिना निसाब हो जिन्नत में दाखिला या रब बिना निसाब हो जिन्नत में दाखिला या रब पड़ोस खुद में से कहो अता या रब पड़ोस खुद में से कहो अता या रब
बदबख्त है वो शख्स जिसने रमजान आया और अपनी मगफरत ना करवा ली. That person is very unfortunate who has founded the Ramadan and through his worship and making the ibadat of Allah Azza wa Jal, he has not gotten the pleasure of Allah. वो बदबख्त है मौला अज़्ज़ा व जल. या अल्लाह अज़्ज़ा व जल, इस माह रमज़ान की हर हर घड़ी ए मौला अज़्ज़ा व तेरी रहमतें, ए मौला हम तू लुटा रहा है. ए अल्लाह अज़्ज़ा व जल, रोजेदार का सोना भी इबादत. ए मौला, उसकी खामोशी तस्बीह के बराबर. अगर वो तस्बीह करता है तो 70,000 फरिश्ते उसके लिए दुआ करते हैं. ऐसी मुबारक घड़ियों में भी अगर हमें गाफिल रह गए तो ए मौला हमारा क्या बनेगा. ए मौला अज़्ज़ा व जल, या रहमीन, या अल्लाह अज़्ज़ा व जल, अब तो ये तेरे प्यारे हबीब सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम का वास्ता इस माह मुबारक में, माह रमज़ान में, माह सयाम में, तेरे मेहमान में. ए मौला अज़्ज़ा व जल, तेरा मेहमान हमारे पास आया, ये हम सबसे राजी होकर वापस जाए. ए मौला, ए मौला, हमें पटवक्ता नमाज पढ़ने वाला बना दे, कुरान पाक की तिलावत करने वाला बना दे. ए मौला, तरावी पढ़ने वाला बना दे, नेकियां करने वाला, नेकियां फैलाने वाला बना दे, गुनाहों से बचने वाला, दूसरों को बचाने वाला बना दे, कुरान पाक को भी पढ़ने वाला, दूसरों को पढ़ाने वाला बना दे. या अरहमर रहीमीन, तू हम सबके घरों पर खुसूसी रहमतों बरकतों का नज़ूल फरमा. ए मौला, जो बीमार हैं उन्हें अच्छा कर दे. बिलखुसूस हमारे अकील भाई की बच्चों की अम्मी बीमार हैं, मौला उन्हें भी सेहत कामिला अता फरमा.
इलाही सारे मरीजों पे फज़्ल व रहमत हो. इलाही सारे मरीजों पे फज़्ल व रहमत हो. इन्हें हो अज़
Masjid in our houses, upon our children, families, family members, friends, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, grant us the tawfiq to go for Hajj again and again. Show us the beautiful dome of your Habib Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Madina Sharif, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, grant us the death on our Iman while holding the Mubarak vision of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Madina Sharif, and grant us the burial place in Jannatul Baqi, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal. Make us the neighbor of your beloved Habib Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Jannatul Firdaus. जिस किसी ने भी दुआ के वास्ते या रब कहा, जिस किसी ने Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, grant the Shifai Kulli, Shifai Kamla and Ajla to our Mufti Sahib Mufti Abdul Nabi Hamidi. He is sick. May Allah Azza give him the long life, and may Allah Azza wa Jal spread his shadow upon all the Muslim Ummah. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, जिस किसी ने भी दुआ के वास्ते या रब कहा करते पूरी आरज़ू हर बेकस व मजबूर की। इन्नल्लाह व मलाइकतहु युसल्लूना अलन नबी या अय्युहल्लज़ीना आमनू सल्लु अलैहि व सल्लिमू तस्लीमा। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला सय्यिदिना व मौलाना मुहम्मदिन नबिय्यिल उम्मी। सलातो व सलाम अलैका या सय्यदी या रसूलल्लाह। जब तुम्हें वापसी हो या मौला, लब पर हो जाए ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मद रसूलुल्लाह।
या नबी सलाम अलैका, या रसूल सलाम अलैका, या हबीब सलाम अलैका, या हबीब सलाम अलैका, सलवातुल्लाह अलैना, तलअल बद्रु अलैना मिन तनीअतिल वदाई, वजब शुक्रु अलैना, वजब शुक्रु अलैना, मदअ लिल्लाहि दाई, मुस्तफा खैरुल बरा हो, सरवर हर दो सरा हो, अपने अक्षों का तसद्दुक़, अपने अक्षों का तसद्दुक़, हम बदों पे भी निभातो। या नबी सलाम अलैका, या रसूल सलाम अलैका, या हबीब सलाम अलैका, या हबीब सलाम अलैका, सलवातुल्लाह अलैका। हश्र में सरकार आना, मेरे ऐबों को छुपाना, अपने रब से बख्शवाना, अपने रब से बख्शवाना, साथ जन्नत में बरसाना। या नबी सलाम अलैका, या रसूल सलाम अलैका, या हबीब सलाम अलैका, सलवातुल्लाह।
Please be seated. Please make intention while you are in the masjid. You are not allowed to eat, drink, or sleep in the masjid unless you make intention for itikaf. So let us make itikaf intention. I will read, just repeat after me. Nawaitu sunnatal i'tikaf. The meaning is I make intention for i'tikaf. So make some dhikrullah, read even to the back, then you can leave important inside the masjid. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now the time is up to break your iftar. Time is up. زي كده صلوا على الحبيب صلى الله تعالى على محمد.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Make yourself straight, stand shoulder to shoulder, check your heels. If your heels on the line, your saf will be straight. If there is gap in front saf, please fill the gap first. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم صلاة وسلاما عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام وإليك يرجع السلام. حينا ربنا بالسلام وأدخلنا دار السلام. تبارك ربنا وتعاليت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا هذه صلاة المغرب مع جماعة المسلمين. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.